So what if I told you that you can create a really stunning, professional-looking presentation in just a few minutes? And for free. Well, today we're going to dive into two super powerful Google AI tools that can absolutely change the game for how you build slides. We're talking about going from a totally blank page to a polished final product, like instantly.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. You're just staring at that blank screen and you know you've got hours of work ahead of you. Finding the right images, writing out all the bullet points, just messing with layouts. It's a huge time sink. And honestly, it can just kill your creativity before you even start. But what if there is a much, much faster way? Well, the promise here is incredibly simple, but really powerful. Using the AI tools we're about to walk through, you can take your ideas, or even research you already have, and turn it all into a complete slide deck almost instantly. And yes, I'm going to say it again, it is 100% free.
Okay, so our first tool is Google Gemini. I like to think of this one as the instant designer. This is your go-to when you need to whip up a visually appealing presentation from just a simple idea, and you need it like yesterday.
The whole process is incredibly simple. It really just breaks down into 3 key steps. First, you write a detailed prompt. And trust me, the more specific you are about your topic, how many slides you want, the kind of tone you're going for, the better your result's going to be. Then comes a super important step we'll talk about in a sec, selecting the Canvas tool. And finally, you just hit generate and kind of watch the magic happen.
Now listen up, because this part is crucial. The one thing our research really emphasized is that selecting Canvas is the critical move that so many people miss. This is the magic button that tells Gemini you want a visual presentation, not just a wall of text. So whatever you do, don't skip it. Okay, so at this point, you've got this great-looking presentation, but there is a small catch. You can't actually edit the text or the images or anything directly inside of Gemini. Now, that might sound like a big deal, but there is an incredibly simple workaround.
With just one click, you can open your AI-generated presentation right in Google Slides. And from there, you have total creative control. You can change anything you want, tweak the text, swap out images, adjust the whole design. And then you can just download it as a PowerPoint, a PDF, whatever format you need. Problem solved.
All right, so that's great if you're starting from scratch, but what if you've already done a ton of research? Well, that's where our second tool comes in. Let me introduce you to NotebookLM, which I call the Smart Researcher.
And the range of sources this thing can handle is seriously impressive. I mean, you can upload PDFs of academic papers, text files, link it to your Google Docs, paste in website URLs. You can even give it YouTube links or audio files to analyze. It just synthesizes everything. It's pretty wild.
And the workflow here is just as easy. You just upload your sources, let's say, for example, 3 different research papers on one topic. NotebookLM instantly reads them all, understands them, and gives you a cohesive summary. And then you just click one button, Slide Deck.
And the speed, I mean, this is what makes it a true game changer. What would normally take you hours of manual reading, summarizing, designing is done in less than a minute. The AI does all of that heavy lifting for you. It's incredible.
So let's just recap. We have these 2 tools, and they each have their own unique strengths, right? Gemini is your quick start visual designer. NotebookLM is your deep dive research synthesizer. You can use them separately and they're both fantastic, but what if we combine them?
Just imagine this. You start with the insane research power of NotebookLM, pulling key insights from dozens of sources all automatically.
And then you finish with the creative visual engine of Gemini to turn all that deep, complex research into a beautiful, polished presentation.
And that right there, that is the ultimate workflow. You're combining NotebookLM's brain with Gemini's design eye. This is how you really get the best of both worlds. You get all the substance and you get all the style. You know, the source material we reviewed for this explainer put it perfectly. They call this combination a real game changer, and it's so easy to see why. You're using 2 specialized AIs, each one playing to its own strengths to create something way better than either one could do alone. So how does it actually work? Well, first up, in NotebookLM, you use its Discover Sources feature to research your topic. It'll go out and pull in relevant articles, papers, you name it. Then, and this is the most important part, you ask it for one thing: a detailed slide-by-slide outline complete with titles and bullet points. Okay, once you have that detailed outline, you move on to part 2. You open up Gemini, and remember, select Canvas, and you simply tell it to turn your outline into a presentation. Then you just paste the entire outline you got from NotebookLM, hit Generate, and bam!
The result is a deeply researched, really well-structured, and visually stunning slide deck.
So now you have 3 really powerful methods in your toolkit. The big question is, which AI copilot should you choose for your next project? Think of this as your playbook. Let's say you need a quick 5-slide pitch for a new idea. Gemini Direct is perfect for that instant design. What if you have a folder full of research papers for a school project? Use NotebookLM Direct to turn them into a presentation right away. And for that huge, career-defining presentation that has to be both deeply researched and look amazing, that's when you unleash the power combo.
You know, these tools are already so powerful, and they're only going to get better. It really makes you wonder, are we watching the beginning of the end for manual slide design as we know it? Definitely something to think about for your next presentation.